After a slow final lead-up, young and restless fans are finally about to embark, along with invited guests, on a journey to discover the true identity of Aristotle Dumas and find out what he's up to at long last. Will all the hype lead to a big payoff? It just might. It's quite an eyebrow-raising collection of characters heading overseas to experience an exclusive event at Aristotle Dumas' private party in France, including many that don't normally mix, or who definitely don't mix well. With Abby and Lily at odds, Billy and Victor sharing the same space, Audra and Kyle trying to outwit one another, and Phyllis, Nick, and Sharon all on the trip, there's no doubt we're going to get some tension. If we could also get some intrigue, drama, anything soapy, that would be fantastic too. In case you didn't think it possible to extend this story any longer, be prepared to wait a bit before the eventual reveal of the Riviera recluse. It appears as though the guests are embarking on a bit of a journey, complete with train rides and challenges, before we get down to the main event. I couldn't help but smile at the preview of a puzzled Jack, Diane, Kyle, and Audra being told by Dumas' unusual assistant Carter that they have to complete a maze to get into the inner sanctum. In the end, I'm sure we'll discover that Dumas is none other than Kane Ashby, even though it doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Especially if he's played by Billy Flynn, who isn't old enough to play a man who once passed himself off as Chance's father. That said, stranger casting choices have been made on soaps, so let's all give it a chance. After all, Flynn himself asked fans to be kind as he makes his debut. But will it all be about the reveal? I suspect there's something more complex afoot. In fact, a scene in Friday's episode made me wonder if this was turning into a mystery. After Amy said goodbye to Damien and the travelers left, she told Nate she'd felt a strange sensation when she hugged her son. She wondered what it might mean. To me, it suggested Damien might be facing some challenges ahead. It was like a signal of change, rather than anything negative. Considering how many people asked Damien why he was even bothering to go to Nice, given that Dumas had dismissed him, it all added up to an uneasy feeling. Did you get the same soapy intuition? Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, Pulse Canvas. It's me, Julie here. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Keep watching. So let's dive into today's video. Daniel is playing guitar on Crimson Light's patio when he spots someone inside. He packs up his instrument and walks in to greet Danny and Christine. Daniel embraces them and asks why they didn't tell him they were coming. Danny explains they had a break in the tour and wanted to check on him and Lucy. Daniel updates him and they chuckle over Phyllis finally backing off on trying to get him back to work. Danny asks, "So, how are you doing?" Daniel says he's figuring things out and adjusting to his new normal. Danny says it was difficult, but he's there to help in any way he can. Daniel shares that he's been getting support. He and Tessa Porter have become friends, and she taught him how to get out of his own head and his own way. He's not ready to talk about it yet. He's still working on it. When he feels ready, he'll share more. In the park, a worried-looking Tessa leaves Mariah a voicemail. She knows Mariah said she wanted some space, but she misses her. The distance between them is hard. Whenever Mariah is ready, Tessa will be there to listen without judgment or frustration. "Call me. I care about you." As she ends the call, Phyllis appears and asks, "Are you okay?" It looks like she might need a friend. Tessa frowns and says, "You're not really here to be my friend. You called me here because you want something." Phyllis admits that's true. She thanks Tessa for agreeing to meet and reminds her they both care about Daniel. Tessa warns she still won't spy on him. Phyllis says she never asked her to do that, but she did take her advice and backed off on trying to get him to work with her. Tessa smiles. So what does she want from her? Phyllis says she's going on a trip, but she's worried about Daniel. He's trying hard to convince her nothing's wrong, but she senses he's struggling. "I'm his mother. I know." Phyllis wants Tessa's evaluation of how her son is doing. She won't go on the trip if her son needs her. Tessa doesn't think she has any new insights. Phyllis isn't convinced. Tessa believes Daniel is getting stronger every day. Phyllis tells her she's been a great support. They owe this progress to her. Tessa credits Daniel for his own strength. Phyllis insists she's been a positive influence on her son. That's why she has another request, one that requires a bit more involvement. Tessa asks what she wants from her. Phyllis just wants her to continue to care about Daniel. She doesn't need regular updates. Tessa says they've become friends, but he really doesn't need anyone looking over him. She doesn't think he's having serious difficulties. Phyllis appreciates this but disagrees. With a hint of emotion, Phyllis says she'll always worry about her son. Tessa understands and promises to be a good friend to Daniel, but nothing more. Phyllis, relieved, thanks her. Tessa asks, "So, you're going to Europe?" Phyllis says she's going to the south of France to meet with someone who will, undoubtedly, change her life. Tessa asks Phyllis if she's attending Dumas' party. Mariah mentioned Sharon's going. Phyllis hesitates but insists she's fine with Sharon. Tessa asks if she thinks Sharon and Nick will get back together. Phyllis doesn't care. She just doesn't want Sharon to interfere with what she's trying to accomplish. She hopes Sharon stays out of her way. At Society, Amy tells Damien she's a bit anxious about the party in France. She wonders who this Dumas character really is. Audra finds the mystery around the man intriguing. Damien admits he wouldn't recognize him if he walked in and sat down. Amy marvels at how Damien has grown into such an accomplished man. Damien says it wasn't easy. It's been a journey with many ups and downs. Amy thinks things have started to turn around for him. Soon, he'll be working with family who care about him. Damien is still processing everything. He was upset at first, but now they're both in a better place. She wonders if he'll ever fully forgive her for keeping such a big secret all these years. Damien takes his mother's hand. Sometimes he still feels hurt, but he's grateful to have her back in his life. They laugh as they imagine Jackson would love this Dumas mystery. Amy says Jackson would be so proud of Damien. She admits she's worried about the party. Does Damien want to meet him after everything that's happened? Damien is just curious. He's never met him face to face. He thinks Dumas must have a plan, and Damien wants to figure out what it is. Maybe I can help understand what he's up to. Amy thinks Damien's inside knowledge of Dumas' work will be helpful to Devin and Lily. Damien hopes it goes smoothly and he won't be turned away. Amy points out that at least he'll be in the beautiful French Riviera. Damien wants to be there for the public unveiling, if that's what this is about. Amy imagines he'll enjoy traveling with Devin and Lily. Damien enjoys Lily's company but needs some closure. He deserves to meet the man he once worked for. He wants to make sure he hasn't unintentionally caused any problems for the Winters family. At Nate's place, Lily meets with Devin and Abby to prepare for the trip to France. Devin jokes about the number of bags the girls are bringing. Nate explains that Damien will be there soon. He's having breakfast with him now. The mystery surrounding Dumas will be revealed soon. Lily is excited for the big reveal. Nate feels uneasy about what they might encounter at the party. Lily trusts Amanda's word that Dumas isn't targeting the Winters family. Devin is still concerned because Victor mentioned that Dumas had been aware of them for months. Nate wonders why Dumas would want to gather so many people together. Lily is surprised to hear that Audra has been invited. Nate explains Audra proposed a publicity event to help promote her company. Lily and Devin are skeptical. Abby guesses that Dumas knows Victor is backing Audra's business. Lily wonders if Dumas could be Tucker. Devin says the timing doesn't make sense. He would have had to establish this identity before returning to town. Abby isn't so sure. Nate says they'll find out soon enough. Regardless, they shouldn't underestimate him. Lily warns they also shouldn't underestimate Victor. Abby bristles at Lily's opinion about her father, but Lily points out that Victor won't like Dumas having the advantage. Abby defends her father as a savvy businessman. She doesn't always agree with his methods, but sometimes the results are positive. He encouraged Lily to reconnect with her family. Lily scoffs at the word encouraged and says the outcome doesn't always justify the approach. Abby insists her father made a real effort to check in on Damien and try to support Winters. Lily still thinks they should stay alert. Victor might try to take advantage of Dumas. Aristotle might even want to involve them to counter Victor's plans. Nate wonders which side they would choose. Abby hopes they wouldn't go against her father. Devin tries to reassure Abby, and Lily says she hopes it won't come to picking sides. Abby reminds them of the loyalty her father always showed to Neil. Offering Chancellor to Lily and then pulling back wasn't fair, but Abby honestly believes Victor was doing what he thought Neil would have wanted for Lily. Lily scoffs, saying that's very presumptuous of him. They go back to speculating about Dumas' identity. Nate thinks this gathering is really a fact-finding mission for Dumas. He encourages everyone to embrace the mystery. The truth is they can't stop what's coming. They might as well get ready and enjoy the journey. Amy and Damien arrive, and they all talk about taking Amy overseas once her doctor clears her for travel. The conversation quickly turns back to Dumas and who he really is. Lily says they've been discussing him so much, she feels like she already knows him. Damien asks Nate to look after Amy, who gives him a warm hug. He then leaves with Abby, Devin, and Lily. Once alone, Amy tells Nate, "I miss him already." Nate reflects that they have a lot of time to catch up on. Fortunately, they found each other again. She tells Nate that when she hugged Damien just now, she felt a sudden chill. He thinks it's worry and a little sadness about him leaving again. She's sure that's all it is. At Crimson Lights, Danny tells Daniel he'll be in town for a while. Daniel says Lucy will be thrilled. He's looking forward to some home-cooked meals. They joke about Danny's secret sauce recipe. Daniel admits having his dad, there feels like a weight has been lifted. At that moment, Phyllis walks in and looks at her son with her hands on her hips. Tessa watches nervously. Tessa waves at Daniel and heads out to the patio. Phyllis tells Danny she can't stay. She's on her way to France for business. She's going to a gathering hosted by Aristotle Dumas. Christine has heard of him, but says he doesn't meet with just anyone. Phyllis says he's revealing himself to an exclusive few, and she is one of them. Christine asks who she had to impress to get that invitation. Phyllis accuses Christine of being jealous and teases her about always being on the road with the tour crew. Christine is suspicious of whatever Phyllis is planning. Danny steps in to sympathize with Phyllis about the difficulties she and Sharon faced recently. Phyllis agrees it was tough. At one point, she thought cricket might have been involved. Changing topics, Phyllis asks if Daniel has told his father about learning guitar yet. Daniel groans that it was a surprise. Danny's thrilled to hear it anyway. Daniel explains that learning chords helps ease his nerves. Danny thinks they could perform together one day. Daniel says, absolutely not. Danny learns Tessa has been teaching his son. Daniel brings her over to chat with Danny and Christine. They all want to hear Daniel play, but he refuses. Tessa suggests they let Daniel decide when he's ready. Phyllis has to leave but pulls Daniel aside first to tell him she'll miss him. He worries about her and asks if she's sure she's making the right choice. Phyllis shares her concern about Dania and the bug possibly trying to influence him while she's away. She likes having him to herself. Daniel tells her it's not a competition. He loves both of his wonderful parents. You a little bit more, he jokes. She tells him she loves him, and he wishes her luck, asking her to keep in touch. They hug. Phyllis rejoins Danny and Christine and tells Christine, "Don't get too comfortable, I will be back." She leaves and Christine wonders how Dumas is giving her attention. Daniel shrugs that the gathering sounds unusual, but maybe this will be the fresh start his mother needs. At the club, Audra tells Nate about her invitation to Dumas' event. She's sure her company's campaign will get great exposure. He questions why she was invited. She lies that she sent Dumas her idea for the campaign and he was intrigued. Nate remains skeptical. It seems odd that Dumas would fly her over for a publicity event. The whole setup feels off to him. He's so private. Why would he want to be part of this? It doesn't make sense. Audra is confident it will pay off. Isn't that enough? Nate argues he's an unknown and can't be trusted. Audra thinks he's just upset about letting his brother go. Nate can't help but wonder if Lily, Devon, and now her might be walking into a tricky situation. Audra thinks Nate might be overthinking things. She suggests maybe Dumas will be like Gatsby and not even show up. Nate thinks the party is a strategic move, maybe even a challenge. Why is he inviting these Genoa City leaders all the way across the world? What if he's trying to make a big play to influence Chancellor Winters or both? They go back and forth on this as Audra wonders how he could pose a problem. She's sure Nate is imagining things. Nate agrees the only way to find out is to go. He decides, "I'll go with you." Audra tells Nate, "You don't have to." He'd like to spend some time with her in the south of France. She's sure he'll be busy with Winters and showing Damien the ropes. He also needs to be there for Amy. She reminds him about closing a big festival deal. Nate thinks he can manage all of that. Audra asks if he really thinks Lily and Devon can't handle things themselves. He knows they can. Nate mentions revisiting the idea of spending time together in France later. Audra tells him they will, after Vibrant becomes #1. Nate chuckles that she's determined. Audra invites him upstairs to help finish packing, and so she can properly say au revoir. Nate likes the idea, and they share a warm moment. Nick joins Nikki at the ranch, where she's finishing packing for France. He says his bag's in the car. He admits the Dumas situation is a big question mark. Nikki wishes Victoria could join them, but of course she wants to stay by Cole's side. At least he's stable. Nick says his parents should go to the airport without him. He plans to stop by Sharon's and convince her to come with him. At Sharon's place, she and Mariah look over photos of Aria on her bike. Sharon thinks Aria seems calmer and asks if things are better. Maria says she and Tessa have started a conversation. Sharon assumes Maria is ready to share what happened with her. Maria hesitates, saying, "We've opened the door." Sharon is happy and gives her a hug. Nick arrives and hopes he's not interrupting. He asks Sharon if she's changed her mind about going to Dumas' party in Nice. Mariah has been hearing that name everywhere. Nick thinks the party will be a perfect chance for him to make a public announcement. Sharon doesn't see it as a big deal, but Mariah thinks it's a unique opportunity. Sharon feels like they're teaming up on her. She's hesitant. She isn't sure she wants to be away from her family right now. Maria says she'd feel bad if Sharon missed out on something this important because of her. She reassures her mother that she and Tessa will be fine. She insists, and Nick tells Sharon not to argue with her daughter. Sharon smiles. Sharon worries Mariah might need her, but Mariah reminds her she can call anytime. She'll also cover for her at Cassidy first. She promises to reach out if she needs help. Sharon says, "I'd better go pack." She heads upstairs, and Nick thanks Mariah for helping convince her to go. Maria wonders why he asked her. Is this turning into something? Nick insists he and Sharon aren't a couple. They've just been spending time together and getting closer. They had a great time in London. Maria is glad Sharon can enjoy herself with someone she trusts. Nick notes Maria has had her own challenges, and those don't just disappear. She guesses Sharon mentioned something. Nick doesn't know the details, just that Sharon is concerned. Will Maria be okay without Sharon close by? Maria assures him she will be fine. Sometimes, the hovering makes things harder. "I just need some space." Nick understands. He tells her she can always come to him. Maria says that means a lot, and they share a supportive hug. Sharon returns. excited about the trip, but worried about what to pack. Mariah talks up the shopping in France. Sharon worries about work, but Mariah reassures her. Sharon reminds her to answer if she calls. Mariah hugs her, Nick takes her bag, and they leave. Once alone, Maria's smile fades as she looks at a framed photo of herself, Tessa, and Aria. At Crimson Lights on the patio, Chelsea thanks Victor for making time before France. He asks what she wants. Chelsea isn't happy about using Newman Media to put pressure on Billy. Adam agrees with her. Victor does not. He tells her she's wasting her effort trying to get him to back off Billy Abbott. She offers a deal. She'll share the true identity of Aristotle Dumas. Her experience has taught her how to read between the lines. She hasn't shared this information with anyone else. He needs to be ready to face the situation. Victor smiles and says, "I'll be ready." Chelsea tells him her information will give him more influence and help him support the family. Victor thinks she should share without making demands. Billy is capable on his own. Why is she so determined to help him? Is she still holding feelings for him? Is she using his son to avoid confronting her feelings for Billy Abbott? Chelsea will always care about Billy. He helped her through a difficult time. She can't undo past mistakes, but she refuses to make things harder for him. Victor asks why he'd give up something valuable for information he already knows. "I know who Aristotle Dumas is." Chelsea tells Victor that he's bluffing. He says, "You're bluffing. You've lost your edge." Chelsea says this isn't a game. Victor thinks she's going to say Aristotle Dumas is Tucker McCall. Chelsea says, "You got me. Tucker is Dumas." Victor thinks it makes sense, and it's an easy guess. If it were true, she'd have proof. Chelsea says, "Fine," and explains why it seems likely. Victor regrets disappointing her, but Tucker McCall is not Aristotle Dumas. Chelsea asks how he can be sure. Victor knows Tucker McCall is in prison in India. Chelsea is surprised. He admires her determination, but suggests she focus on protecting Billy Abbott's son and his work at Newman Media instead. Chelsea asks, if Tucker is not McCall, then who is? Victor laughs. "Have a nice day, Chelsea." At the Abbott house, Kyle tells Jack and Diane about Audra's idea for Dumas' party. Diane points out Kyle and Audra haven't been invited. Kyle says Audra arranged the invites. They travel separately, of course. He suggested Jack do the pitch, but she wanted someone closer to her age for the campaign. Jack rarely agrees. Kyle's a better fit. Diane warns about playing into Audra's plans. Kyle tells his parents there's no way Audra can outdo them. Jack agrees, and the publicity will bring more attention to Jabot products. They imagine outperforming Audra. Kyle would love to be there to see it, but will have to support from afar. It's not a good time to leave Genoa City. Jack assures him they can manage at Jabot. He can then check in with Claire and see how she and Cole are doing. Kyle walks off to call her. Diane criticizes Jack for trusting Audra. He thinks Audra is acting under the influence of someone pulling her strings. That would be Victor. Diane and Jack agree Victor must be backing Audra's venture to create a challenge for Kyle. He knows Kyle is their weak spot. They're planning to challenge Kyle, which could strain his relationship with Claire and affect Jabot. Jack says, luckily, Audra overestimated her position. Diane can't understand why Jack is risking Kyle's well-being. Audra's caused enough trouble, and why risk hurting Claire? Jack argues Kyle needs to confront Audra directly and show her she failed. The best way for Kyle to respond to Victor's interference with Claire is to call him out. He needs this moment with Victor. Diane doesn't like it. Audra might seek retaliation. Honestly, it's not Audra's business skills that concern me. She worries about Audra's influence. Jack reminds her Kyle loves Claire. Diane argues their relationship is delicate. Jack insists he cares deeply about her heart. He trusts their son completely and wants to see him succeed and outshine Victor at Dumas' party of the year. The Young and the Restless spoilers for the week of June 16 to 20 reveal fans will see a train ride, a maze challenge, and Aristotle Dumas' hidden camera feed. Some excitement is coming as guests face plenty of surprises. My and R's weekly preview shows several characters on a train ride arranged by Dumas. It's fitting since there have been recent mentions of murder on the Orient Express in a purely thematic way. Sharon Newman realizes the journey is starting as she sits next to Nick Newman on the train. Nikki Newman, Victor Newman, Billy Abbott, and Sally Spectra will also be nearby. When Billy asks if Victor's ready to enter Aristotle Dumas' event, it gets a chuckle from Victor. It's clear Victor isn't worried about what Dumas has planned. My and R's weekly promo also shows Jack Abbott, Diane Jenkins Abbott, Kyle Abbott, and Audra Charles arriving to find a mysterious maze. When Jack asks Dumas' assistant about it, Carter explains that it's the start of their challenge and encourages everyone to enter. Back on the train, Lily Winters appears unsettled as she shares a concern. There's a tense vibe building up at the party, and Lily admits she has a strange feeling that things might not go as planned. The preview ends with a mysterious man watching a camera feed, suggesting that Dumas is observing Lily and the other guests from a distance, at least until his big surprise is revealed. Dumas' identity might be familiar to Genoa City's key players, especially if Flynn turns out to be a new version of Kane Ashby. The Young and the Restless spoilers indicate some surprising news from Dumas will shake up the event, so stay tuned for updates. The spoilers for Monday, June 16, reveal that Lily Winters will share an uneasy confession while Aristotle Dumas quietly monitors the situation. Phyllis Summers will also be eager to achieve her goals, so let's explore what's ahead. Dumas' gathering is set to begin soon, but guests will face some challenges once they arrive in France. After their flights land, they'll travel to Dumas' chateau by train. Of course, Dumas has everything arranged in advance to ensure a smooth journey. There will be plenty of anticipation and questions as the guests prepare to start the celebration. At one point, Phyllis might approach Sharon Newman and offer a cautious reminder about staying on track. Although Sharon and Phyllis are keeping up a friendly front, Phyllis won't want anything to interfere with her plans involving Dumas. If Sharon focuses on Nick Newman and their possible reunion, Phyllis will be okay with that. Right now, Phyllis is focused on bigger things. My and R spoilers say Phyllis will become increasingly excited about meeting Dumas and impressing him. You can expect Phyllis to aim high and make this trip a turning point for her career. Meanwhile, Sally Spectra may advise against causing any unnecessary trouble after Billy teases Victor Newman during the train ride. Sally wants to avoid any disruptions, especially since she's already concerned about how the party might unfold. Even Lily will begin to worry about what lies ahead. She will share her uneasy feelings about the event, sensing it might take an unexpected turn. We know a mystery is coming, so an unexpected surprise should shake things up soon. Meanwhile, Dumas adds to the suspense by watching his guests discreetly through hidden cameras. The Young and the Restless spoilers promise that this chateau gathering will have some unforgettable moments, so keep following for any exciting updates and important developments. The spoilers also hint that Sharon Newman is about to discover something unsettling. She chose to skip the Aristotle Dumas party with Nick Newman to stay close to her daughter, Mariah Copeland, during a difficult time. What kind of challenge awaits Sharon because of this choice? The spoilers suggest that Mariah has been keeping a secret, and she hasn't been herself since returning from her Cassidy 1 business trip. While many thought it was a simple situation, after some puzzling flashbacks and Mariah's own words that what happened was far worse, it seems more complicated. An unusual older stranger, played by Michael Swan, appears to be involved in this storyline somehow, but Y and R fans are still trying to figure out what it all means. While Mariah has shared a bit about her feelings with her mom, she's kept Tessa Porter at a distance. The fact that Sharon has chosen to stay behind, especially since Phyllis Newman received an invitation to the Dumas party, shows how dedicated she is to supporting her children. As Mariah has been leaning on her mom during this challenging time, could she experience a moment of emotional overwhelm? With everyone gathering at the Dumas event, having a good time, might Sharon be at home helping Mariah manage her feelings? Sharon could become a strong source of comfort for Mariah, but could this also be the moment when she finally learns what her daughter has been going through? There's a chance that during a vulnerable moment, Mariah might open up about her experiences while she was away on business. Was she confused or disoriented while with the stranger? Did she face a difficult situation involving Swan's mystery guest and then try to keep it private? How will Sharon respond when she learns what Mariah experienced? Could it bring up feelings from her own past challenges? On February 3, 2019, daytime television lost a beloved figure, Kristoff Street John, who had been a mainstay on The Young and the Restless from 1991 until his final episode aired on February 6 that year. Since then, his presence as Neil has been deeply missed. Despite his many successes, Street John faced significant personal challenges, including the loss of his son Julian in 2014. Now, his story is being honored in a new way. Our sister site, Deadline, has learned exclusively that Randy J. Goodwin's production company, Fallen Giant Films, is creating a documentary directed by Bobby Razak, celebrating Street John's life and legacy. Viewers will be taken on a heartfelt journey through the Daytime Emmy and NAACP Image Award winner's life, beginning from his early days as a child actor. The film promises a raw and intimate portrait of Street John, highlighting both his professional achievements and personal struggles. The documentary aims to provide a close look at the actor who was deeply loved by his family, colleagues, and fans. Kristoff was more than just an incredibly talented actor. He was one of my closest friends, my brother. This documentary is both a heartfelt tribute and a truthful exploration of the amazing, complex person he was, Goodwin shared. With Bobby Razak directing, we're confident this story will be portrayed with the emotional honesty and artistic vision Kristoff deserves. Mia Street John, the actor's ex-wife and mother of their son Julian, will also contribute. Fans can expect the project to premiere in early 2026, with more details to come about a scripted biopic currently in development. And what about those in Genoa City who didn't get an invite to the big Dumas celebration? Phyllis is preparing for a life-changing trip, but Daniel isn't fully convinced about her reasons. In the June 13 episode of The Young and the Restless, Phyllis gets ready for her trip to France while Daniel deals with family tensions. Meanwhile, Amy and Damien have a thoughtful conversation about his future, and Lily and the Winters family discuss the mystery surrounding Dumas. Phyllis met with Tessa in the park, asking about Daniel's emotional state before she leaves for her business trip. Tessa assured Phyllis that Daniel was making progress, moving through a difficult period. Still, Phyllis worried and wanted reassurance that Daniel was coping well. Tessa promised to be a supportive friend to him, but Phyllis remained concerned about the influence Daniel might have in her absence. Tessa also mentioned Sharon and Nick's relationship, but Phyllis shut down the topic, indicating she didn't want Sharon to interfere with her plans. Meanwhile, Daniel was practicing guitar on the Crimson Lights patio when Danny and Christine stopped by to check on him and see how he was adjusting to recent changes. Daniel explained that Tessa's support had helped him gain perspective and manage his emotions better. As the conversation continued, Phyllis and Tessa arrived, creating an awkward moment. Phyllis talked enthusiastically about her upcoming trip to France, saying it would be life-changing. Danny and Christine exchanged doubtful looks as Phyllis kept going. Daniel assured his mom he would be fine, but admitted he wasn't completely sure about her reasons for the trip. Damien and Amy shared breakfast at Society, discussing the mystery surrounding Dumas and their upcoming trip. Amy expressed her concern about her son getting involved with someone like Dumas, but Damien was curious about the overall plan. Damien wanted reassurance that Dumas wouldn't cause any issues for the Winters family. While Amy seemed hopeful about their new dynamic, she couldn't help but wonder about his intentions. Despite her reservations, she was proud of how far he had come. Back at Nate's penthouse, Lily and Abby joined the discussion about Dumas's involvement in their lives. The group speculated whether Dumas could be working with Victor to create challenges for the Winters family. Michael Mueller recalled how he and his co-star Haley Aaron first met and shared what makes Claire a good match for Kyle. The young and the restless stars Michael Mueller and Haley Aaron showcased their playful sides in a joint interview. They talked about their first meeting, and Mueller teased what Claire is doing to Kyle that no one else, not even Audra, could do. In an interview with Soap Opera Digest, Mueller and Aaron shared where they first met. He admitted his co-star hears the story often. "I say this all the time. Haley probably gets tired of me saying this. But the first night I ever met Haley was the night she won her Emmy for Outstanding Younger Actress in 2019 for playing Kiki Jerome on General Hospital," Mueller explained. He knew Aaron was a star in the making, and that was evident from her earlier work on Y&R. "I was so excited to work with her." One of my favorite things about working on the soap is that there are always new people coming in, and I love working with people who bring fresh energy, he said. Mueller was thrilled when he learned Aaron was joining Y&R. He saw this as an opportunity to explore a new side of Kyle. "It's a whole new side to Kyle, selfishly, that I get to explore as an actor," Mueller shared. "And obviously, Haley's just the best." Aaron said she enjoys hearing the story and that they share a similar sense of humor. The co-stars also revealed the most surprising thing they learned about each other. Aaron admitted that Mueller has a great sense of style. "He always looks awesome when he walks into work, and then I feel like a gremlin rolling out of bed. He always looks like he walked out of a magazine," she joked. Surprisingly, her co-star's polished look makes her feel a bit self-conscious. Mueller was surprised to learn Aaron enjoys yoga. "I spent years doing yoga, and there's a kind of special connection that happens with others who do it," he noted. Will we get to see Kyle and Claire do yoga at the newly renovated Abbott Mansion? That would be fun to watch. Young and the Restless spoilers for Friday, June 13, hint at some major moments as Genoa City heads into the weekend. Someone aims to protect their family's legacy, a character stands firm on their decisions, and a popular couple makes a return. What will unfold during Friday's show? Let's find out. The Young and the Restless spoilers reveal that Devin Hamilton Winters will focus on protecting his family legacy. He's preparing for the Aristotle Dumas party in France, and like other major Genoa City families attending, he's eager to learn more about the mysterious billionaire's plans. While the party takes place on Friday the 13th, the events and excitement will likely continue through the week of June 16 to 20. Across town, standing up to the strong-willed Phyllis Summers won't be easy, but Tessa Porter is ready to do just that. It looks like Phyllis may take a protective approach and try to learn more about Daniel Romolotti's intentions. Still, Tessa might set clear boundaries and remind Phyllis to respect Daniel's privacy during his guitar lessons. How Phyllis will respond to these boundaries remains to be seen. Fans will have to tune in to find out. Meanwhile, Daniel will receive a pleasant surprise during the June 13 episode. The Young and the Restless spoilers note that Christine Blair and Danny Romolotti will be back in town, taking a break from the Rockstars World Tour. What kind of excitement will they bring to Genoa City upon their return? Are you excited about Friday's show? Join the conversation below. Watch your favorite soap on CBS every day, and visit SOS regularly for the latest Young and the Restless news and spoilers.